What's up, everybody? This is The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I'm Chris. We got producer Josh.
Good morning.
Haley the Bear.
Please stop, Ryan.
And Ryan from Miami, who's wearing a Lightning jersey. And I'm just going to get straight to it. Who won the poll?
The people agree vegan food should get completely removed from the face of the earth.
That's a logical one.
Yeah, you made a good choice there. You really did.
It was personal and universal.
I didn't think that was going to have any trouble winning that particular poll. Let's go to sports.
Sports.
I
don't get my moment to introduce myself.
You don't.
What is no?
Because I'm going to jump all over you.
Is,
hey, mute Ryan real fast.
My moment.
Not a problem.
Okay, he's muted. You're in the penalty box, Ryan.
2 minutes.
Mainly for the level of histrionics and vitriol and just homer filth that poured out of your mouth after your team finally took a game in this series. After getting absolutely demolished in game 2, you have been crowing all night long because y'all won a game at home. I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy for your team. All the Bolts fans out there, I know you guys are excited just as Ryan is. Dude, I got to say, it's a little over the top. You're still down 2-1. You do realize that, right?
Series doesn't start until a team loses at home. So officially this series has not started yet. So we'll see what happens in game 4.
That's like saying the next game is a must win. That's not true. It's not a factually correct statement. The series started 3 games ago.
Look, unfortunately, the Avs could not carry over all 7 goals that they scored in Game 2. So the Lightning, with 6 goals in Game 3, were good enough to beat the Avs by 4. So we've got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. See it for Game 4 on Wednesday night.
Does the series not start until, or do we have ourselves a series? Because according to your Instagram, we've got ourselves a series. But then you just said a series doesn't start until a road team or home team loses. So which one is it?
We have ourselves a series that hasn't started yet.
Okay, just checking.
Lord.
Just checking on that one.
Oh man, yes, I steamrolled all the way through the beginning of the open of the show today, so that you could not sit there and crow, because I just don't understand. Like, look, everybody knows that the Tampa Bay Lightning are great, right? That goes without saying. You are right. If they win this title, this is now like
that is historic.
Yeah. They are down 2 games to 1. And I don't care how many points they scored in game 3.
Goals.
Like yes, you were correct. Thank you, Ryan. Good Lord. I don't care how many goals they scored in game 3. They got 7 dropped on them in game 2.
7-0, mind you.
Yeah.
Vasilevsky, your unbelievable shutout monster, the guy who will never be topped, got 7 laid on him.
Yeah. Are you sipping your tea out of your small cup?
Yeah, sipping my tea. I'm sorry.
You were
saying
Christmas cup?
It's actually so it's one of those like Starbucks like little Florida cups here, because Florida man, gotta
Florida
really
man.
represent. I will say you missed what was going to be a great epic intro for me, because we were going to talk about how this was Skype's moment. This morning was Skype's moment to step up to the plate, and boy, oh boy, did they drop the ball.
Yeah, for everyone listening,
with about 3 minutes before we were supposed to start filming, Zoom decides to just poop the bed. And so we're scrambling.
Nationwide,
nationwide,
yeah. Not like we had
I think globally, actually. I think they legitimately, servers were down or whatever. And so we're like, all right, I guess this is Skype's moment. They can reclaim the moment. And I log in, and it locks me out of Skype. And
way to mess up, Skype.
And now we're back to Zoom.
We're back to Zoom. Zoom fixed their problem, and we are back to recording.
Shout out to Zoom. Thank you very much.
Good job, Zoom. Way to come through in the clutch, Zoom. Just like the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, you look like you were dead in the water, and then here you come, revival time, baby.
I still don't think
now we've got ourselves a Zoom series.
I still don't think y'all are gonna win. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. I don't know what happened last night to the Avalanche. They did not look like the team that they were all year.
The fix was in.
They had
First,
an avalanche
called
of goals put on them.
The fix was in. After they called off that first goal, you
Yeah.
could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell the whole thing was going to lean one way.
By the
Go
fact
ahead,
that the
Ray.
Lightning scored more goals in the second period than all of games 1 and 2 combined, they woke up a little bit. I mean, this is an offense that's been really good all season long.
Did
That's-
they wake up, or is that an anomaly?
Or was that the Avalanche going
they
to sleep?
scored just like you said, more goals in the second period than they've scored all series.
Seems like an outlier to me.
They've also been one of the best scoring teams all year long. So an outlier would be the fact that it didn't happen in games 1 and 2 rather than the fact that it did happen in game 3.
No. We're going to, I mean, I watched every minute of that game, and about 3 of those goals were like, it hit his chest and barely got through.
Little tappers.
They like hit his chest and barely got through his armpit. One was like, had it been an inch one way or the other, and that's still it went in. That's the game. I'm not taking that away. But these aren't like handedly like they just beat the crap out of him.
Well, and they were right on top of him a lot of the time too when they scored those.
They did have a lot of pressure, like on their side of the ice. They played a great game. I just think adjustments will be made. I don't think that's going to happen again. You're not going to see 6-2, 6-3, anything like that moving forward. I don't think so. Now, do I think the games are going to be high scoring? Yes. I think both of those offenses are something special, and I think that's great for hockey. There's always going to be people out there that have not been watching the sport before now that are going to tune in because this is the Stanley Cup final. This is the last games, and so they're going to be like, let me see if I'm interested in this. These are 2 great teams for those people to watch because you're not going to see a bunch of games that are 1-0. And in the case where it's close, it's going to be like game 1 where it goes to OT, which is exciting. So we will see what happens, but
Avs in 5.
I think Avs in 5.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lightning
good
in
run,
7.
man.
Lightning in 7. Lightning in 7. By the way, you
7.
mentioned
Very
you mentioned
confident.
goals. 22 goals this series. That's the most through 3 games played in any Stanley Cup final in the last 40 years. So it's exciting. It's an exciting brand of hockey. When you have the sound of the horn and the puck hits the back of the net, yeah, people like it, baby. You know,
That's literally every hockey game, by the way. I just want to point that
When
out.
people skate, we love to see
They're
it.
skating on the ice. The NHL, it's where you want to be.
do we ever talk about like how dangerous it is, like with people skating on basically like knives? It's kind of dangerous. No,
I think there
Yeah.
was a CSI episode about that once.
All right. Let's talk about it.
I was right. I got my guess right.
I'm very glad that I changed my pick
You did swap.
because the Warriors win. In historic fashion, I think this is huge for Curry's legacy. I think it's awesome for Golden State to have another championship. Steve Kerr, obviously this cements him even more as such a not just historic player, but historic head coach. Do we think Steph Curry, and I've seen this all over ESPN and Fox and everywhere else, do we think Steph Curry is top 10 all time?
The quick answer is yes.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
The quick answer is yes, and I would have to go through and make the list a little bit, but to me, he vaults himself over people like Shaquille O'Neal. He vaults himself.
Whoa.
wow.
He vaults himself over Hakeem Olajuwon. This dude has changed how basketball is played league-wide. League-wide. Neither of those guys can say that. They were just big.
I don't even know if it's league wide. He's changed the game. Period. Like from the rec level to travel ball level. Like
I shoot
Steph
threes.
Curry himself has revolutionized.
I am a back to the basket player and I shoot threes now. So like,
Well,
this is
let me play devil's advocate against it, because I don't know that he isn't, but I can make a lot of arguments for people that should come before him, and not just the history of the game, and like you said, going to people like Hakeem Olajuwon and, way back in the history of the NBA, Bill Russell and Jerry West and guys like that, before we even get to the no-doubters, no-brainers like Kobe, LeBron, Michael, that are in top of mind for people today, right? Mm-hmm. I would argue that while it is a very honed skill for him to shoot threes the way that he does, and while that has changed a lot in today's game, is he the only one that changed it? Or is he just at the forefront of it because he's so adept at that one particular skill? Because when Shaquille was in the game, he changed every team he was on just by how big he was. And you obviously can't copy that. Like, that is a physical skill, but he was just bigger than everybody else and more athletic.
And the athleticism was the key too. Shaq was just like nimble and quick for that size. We'd never seen anything like that before.
We'd never seen somebody that big move that fast.
And he did change the league quite a bit because other teams had to just go get 7-footers to throw at him, regardless of skill or whatever. They're just like, you're big, please just try.
And so there is a recency bias thing.
So let's look at this for a second, because you're talking about an 8-time All-Star, an 8-time All-NBA, 4-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, the NBA's all-time three-point leader, and now a Finals MVP. It's Steph Curry.
I do have to say, every time these lists come up, the NBA All-Star thing to me, I know that's awesome, and it is an accolade. That would be like somebody saying it's not a big deal that I've had 12 number ones, right? And that it's more important to have gold albums or platinum albums. It's splitting hairs by using different things. It's like when someone says someone was all NBA or they were an all-star or they were this. I don't think about how many all-star appearances players have. That's not one of the stats. As far as for me, that goes into my metric making. The NBA Finals MVP, the MVP of the league, how many titles you have. Yes.
Those are weighed more. I mean, DeAndre Jordan has a first-team All-NBA. So, like, you have to weigh that a little bit.
But remember that one time that they barricaded the door for the Clippers so he could the Dallas, was it the Mavericks? The Mavericks, where they barricaded the door to try to get DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so if let's take All-Star appearances out of it, right? Here's the list of all-time NBA players who have a league MVP and 4 championships. This is the list. LeBron, MJ, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe, Magic, Tim Duncan, and Shaq. If you just look at that list alone, Steph Curry's a top 10 player of all time, and has cemented himself with, by the way, still in the prime of his career.
All right. List those players again.
LeBron, MJ, Bill Russell, Kareem, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, and Shaq.
All right. Let me talk now that you've listed those 8 players and you're saying Curry would be 9th, right?
I don't know if that's the ranking, but he would be within the top 10 at that point.
Well, by those metrics. But who all are you leaving out? Think about all of the names you're leaving out.
Bird, Wilt,
Right
Kuzi,
there.
Jerry West. I mean,
the logo.
Yeah, it's close, and if he's not 10, he's darn close, because I just made my list while I was sitting here just trying to
I'm not saying that you can't make an argument that he's top 10. I'm saying there can be the argument made against it as well.
And I would put him probably at 10 right now. And I shouldn't have said Shaq, because now that I'm thinking about it, that 5-year run from 98 to 2003 is kind of devastating.
The big Shactus.
But I have LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Duncan, Kareem, Russell, Magic, Bird, Shaq, Curry. That's not in order, but it's just kind of what was coming off the top of my head.
But again, who do you not have? You're missing Wilt Chamberlain. You're missing Jerry West. You're missing a lot of the historically gigantic figures in basketball. And again, it's recency bias.
Mm-hmm. Some of it for sure is.
By the way, yeah, you do have Kobe. All right. I mean,
it's either way. If he's not top 10, he's darn.
He's really close.
I think the reason why we think it's so impressive is up until Steph Curry, it was largely assumed that you could not win a championship being a jump shooter. You had to have a back to the basket game. You had to be able to slash and kick and do all sorts of stuff. And as your primary guy,
he just looks like he does it so flawlessly. Like it's like
he's
so
the best,
easy.
He's the best shooter of all time, and it's not close.
I would take that argument. I would say he's arguably the best shooter of all time. I haven't seen anybody that can just spot up and hit threes like that ever. And even
by the way,
you had like a year or two where Klay Thompson was doing it as well, but he didn't do it consistently.
He didn't do it the way that Steph does it, because Steph is always cutting, he's always moving, he's always jumping to a different spot, he's always recovering, he's finding little gaps where he can just get the shot up.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
By the way, you're leaving Kevin Durant off the list of top 10 players of all time.
He's not a top.
There's just been the argument of whether or not Curry or Durant, who's more deserving of being on that top 10 list. I think so, but there is a school of thought of people that will side with Kevin Durant, given how he is probably and arguably the greatest scorer of all time. I get it. The other thing I will say, we can just commend
Kevin Durant is not the greatest scorer of all time.
No, and he won't even crack top 5 in points.
In terms of pure score, a guy that can create his own shot and score the basketball. That's what some people have categorized as the greatest scorer. But let me say this, because KD was on
in Brooklyn.
Because it's Brooklyn. KD was on one of those Golden State teams, obviously, that have won these titles. To have won 4 in 8 years is pretty impressive. But to have gone from the worst team in the league 2 years ago to then now once again climbing to the top of the mountain. We talked about Steve Kerr and Steph Curry and Klay and Draymond, but to reinvent the death lineup, like all of this speaks to me as we're witnessing one of the greatest dynasties of all time. Like the Bulls are obviously the echelon, and the Celtics and the Lakers, but I would probably put the Warriors now 4th in terms of the greatest dynasties of all time, given what they've done over this 8-year window. Spurs do, but right. 4 in 8 years.
No,
4 in 8 years. Did the Spurs do that?
He's right. I would put the Spurs.
Spurs didn't miss the playoffs for 20 straight years.
Oh yeah.
That's impressive.
And they also won, and Duncan also won 5 titles. So there's.
They just did it with the big fundamental and not the Splash Brothers.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound as cool.
That's the whole
and
thing.
Patty Mills,
Duncan never gets his due, man. He has the same number of rings as Kobe. He has more MVPs. He has more everything else. And yet everyone's like, well, but it was boring. He hit bank shots. It's like, okay.
But all the time.
He always hit them.
The bank was always open, though. All right. Congratulations, Warriors fans. And we will continue to debate that. And at the end of the day, whether you think he's top 10 or not, the fact that you're in a conversation of top 10 of someone to do something all time is insane. And he's not done yet.
One final thing to keep an eye on. Talks in Brooklyn between Kyrie Irving with an extension have fallen apart, which is leaving him open to talk to other teams. One of those teams being the Los Angeles Lakers, who are interested in trading Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving, putting Kevin Durant and Russ back together and reuniting Kyrie and LeBron with AD in the Lakers. And I think if this happens,
holy crap, that'd be amazing.
Didn't Kyrie leave before because he didn't want to be in LeBron's shadow, and now he wants to be in LeBron's shadow again?
But now he's realizing maybe the sun's hot when you're out there by yourself, and he'd like a little shade.
A little shade is nice.
I like that. That's a good line. The sun's hot when you're out there by yourself, want a little shade. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
We write songs.
We write songs and stuff. One quick thing before we move on. What you sent me this morning, Rye.
Brooks Koepka
going to the LIV.
I mean, he clearly can't live without Bryson DeChambeau,
I see what you did there.
Do we see the near end of the PGA?
No. But I will say this, even though it's not a PGA event, does anyone know who won the US Open?
Scotty
Matt
Scheffler.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh. Both of y'all said something different.
Well, Josh was guessing.
Oh.
It's Matt Fitzpatrick is who won it.
Who was that?
Well, it was his first major championship and first ever victory on the PGA Tour.
Okay. Which, by the way, big ups, congrats to him. But I haven't seen a single person talking about that. All anyone can talk about is the PGA and the LIV.
Any given Sunday.
So every single person that was like on the PGA roster complaining about it was casting a shadow over the U.S. Open, they're not wrong.
They're not. But I do want to give one quick nod to the PGA Tour in the fact that we have this. While you do have some of the more notable players that are jumping ship for more money, I do like where we're headed in terms of youth and the growth of them within the PGA Tour. Scotty Scheffler, Zalatoris is fantastic. If you haven't watched Zalatoris play, like that kid is going to be an absolute superstar. It's Patrick Zalatoris, Scotty Scheffler. Like there are some young guys that are going to take over the PGA Tour.
I really, and I've been rooting for him, but I'm slightly afraid that Zalatoris is going to end up becoming another also ran guy that always finishes like top 5.
Like Spieth was for a while there.
But never finishes. Because this is a couple tournaments now that he's had a chance and he's gone, right down to the wire and hasn't been able to seal the deal, which is, I like Zalatoris. I like his game. He looks amazing. I want to see him put it all together. Easier said than done. Easy for me to say sitting here talking on a microphone, right?
And second straight major, he's gone head to head with the eventual champion, just fell short. So it seems like he's like right there on the cusp. Will Zalatoris is becoming that guy, the new face of the PGA Tour.
Who am I thinking of that they said was going to be? I mean, this happens once every 6 months, but go ahead, Josh.
So I've got an idea on how to not fix the situation, but perhaps twist the situation to be something that we would love to see. What if we had a Ryder Cup type tournament of LIV versus PGA where it's its own cup and both of them face off against each other?
I like this a lot.
I like that.
They'll never do it.
That would be.
Oh, I love this idea.
But
I love this idea because
it's
Josh,
a great idea,
you are creating. You're creating the drama that just like television ratings flock to. Like this would be, it's a win-win for both. Well, it kind of would embarrass the PGA Tour, I think, potentially. But
that's my thing.
But not necessarily, because I mean, what if the young guns take out the LIV, the old guys that went to go get paid? Now we're talking about, this is like pro wrestling style heel turns. Like the whole thing is incredibly dramatic. I would personally watch it, even if it was completely lopsided victories on one way or the other.
Well, I mean, Phil didn't look that great this weekend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look at the LIV guys this weekend in the U.S. Open. Like they did not look great. So I'm all for like a Ryder Cup type competition between.
By the way, what the guys whose name in my head that I was searching for, and again, Zalatoris finished tied for second. I mean, you can't knock what he's doing right now. I just don't want to. And this is going to sound like a knock, but it's not, because I was so excited about this guy watching him when he first came onto the tour, and then now he's kind of faded, is Tony Finau. Everybody was talking about Finau's the phenom and, doing all the stuff of this guy's next, he's up next, he's going to be huge, and he just hasn't been able to put it together. So I want to see Zalatoris succeed. I like him a lot.
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing that happened in the 90s with like the next Jordan. Like Grant Hill was supposed to be the next Jordan. You know what I mean? We see someone that is incredible, and then we want to find the comp and find the next heir apparent, and it never really works out that way.
Well, kind of like Jordan Spieth was great, and now he's falling off the wagon.
Yeah, the wagon.
Falling off the wagon.
He's drinking. No.
A wagon can be many things.
Let's go. Let's go to music.
Music.
Oh, man. All right. At the end of a bar update. Oh, Jesus.
Speaking of music.
Yeah. So remember 2 weeks ago when I lost my voice entirely and had to get a steroid shot? I have not stopped playing shows since then. So this is my week off. This is my last thing that I have to do with my voice this week. And I'm just taking some rest. But had an amazing run out West Coast in Cali and Nevada. At the End of a Bar is up to number 11. So about to be top 10.
Let's go.
Very, very pumped about that. Looking really, really good. Mitchell's song, Truth By You, is up to top 20. So congrats to him.
I love that song.
And I know he's pumped. He posted something about it this weekend. So congrats, Mitchell. And I also got to, while we were doing this run on the show on Sunday, bring out my buddy Jimmy Allen because he was also on that show and got to sing Music Note from the Deluxe with him for the first time live for a crowd, which was awesome. Surprised him with a birthday cake because his birthday was the day before. He didn't know that was coming. So it was pretty awesome. It was great to hang with him.
How did the song go in the set, and like how did the crowd lose their mind? Like what was the response?
I was pleasantly surprised at how many people knew the words to it.
That's a good feeling.
That's a great feeling.
Because it just dropped on a Deluxe, and not even everybody knows that the Deluxe was out. I keep telling people just for, hopes that maybe somebody hasn't heard about it and they're going to hear about it for the first time. Me standing up there on stage and saying something, but to be able to jump out there with Jimmy and see people singing along to it already was pretty awesome. So thank you guys.
It's a great song. So
you get a week off now.
Well,
off by shows purposes.
Yeah, no shows. No shows. So I actually get to rest my voice a little bit, which is nice.
That's great.
I'm not even gonna record any vocals or anything. So
yeah, give that thing a break. It's been working.
Yeah, it's been a really busy summer, but I'm not mad about it.
It's better than the alternative. We saw what that was.
Yes.
That was not fun. I don't want to go back to that.
No, busy is way.
Don't even
better.
talk about it. Don't even talk about it. What else is going on? That's it.
Nothing too exciting this week.
Really eventful, huh?
Very eventful week in music outside of me performing. It's festival season. Everybody's gone. Everybody's enjoying themselves. Everybody's getting to be out there all across the country playing country music. And, I get to say it on stage all the time. But for anybody watching this right now or listening to the pod, thank you very, very much, because there are plenty of things you can spend your time and your hard-earned money on outside of watching us play music on a stage, and do not think it ever goes unappreciated. We really, really do appreciate it.
Yep. Without you guys, none of us have jobs. Period.
Yeah. For real.
Well, my
I've got to
ears
go back to doing
appreciate it.
HVAC.
Go back to foundation work. Ugh.
Yeah, my ears appreciate it. I enjoy it. My
All right.
soul.
Speaking of music, what are you listening to? I want you guys to help me put together the summer playlist this week. So I don't know what you have in mind, but I'm giving you a heads up right now. If you need to search for something else, go ahead and start looking.
Wait, I have to pick a summer song?
Yes. It has to be a summer song. Doesn't necessarily have to say summer in the title. Just has to be something you would
The
like rock
Christmas
on
song.
the boat. Yeah. And I'll kick it off. I'm going back into time just a little bit, but LMFAO, Sexy and I Know It. Yeah, by the way, if you ever decide, I'm going to look up that video and see what's going on there, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all I got to say. But yeah, that song definitely gets turned up. It's a lot of fun.
Balls.
Keep looking.
Okay,
Ryan.
I got it.
Okay,
I got one.
Josh. Go.
It's I'm pulling normally I'm not like hey, I'm breaking a new artist or here's something weird that no one's heard of before, but I Shazammed this in a grocery store because I was just like, wow, this is kind of cool. I like this.
Nothing says summer like grocery stores.
Grocery stores, buying some, toiletries
Well,
or
where
whatever.
were you? What, were you at a Kroger? Were you at a Publix?
I was in a
Were you-
Publix. Let me just say, shout out to Publix. Their playlists are always rocking.
I mean, shopping is a pleasure there. So
It really is. The artist's name is Rhys Lewis, RHYS, and it's a song called Under the Sun, but it's the acoustic version. And
All right.
It's very happy sort of Jason Mraz kind of plucky
Just
sort of
vibey.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. And he kind of sounds like Ryan Tedder. So think of like Ryan Tedder from One Republic singing Jason Mraz
Okay.
upbeat songs.
I like it.
It's pretty cool.
I like it. Ryan, what you got?
So I went back and forth with this because when I think summer, obviously there's some really good country music songs that just kind of get you going when you're on a boat in the summer. But one of my favorite bands to play when I'm on a boat is Revolution, because I do love me some really good reggae just when I'm on a boat. It just puts me in a good island mood. So Feeling All Right by Revolution is going to be my song for the summer.
Nice.
Just always puts me in a good little mood, you know, just kick back with a beer, feeling all right. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey there.
You have not done 4 straight shows and a red eye back to Nashville. So what's going on with your voice over there, buddy?
I did do live shots during the Rays Yankees game yesterday. I have a game tonight and have been on television for 4 days in a row. So not quite like you, sir, but yes.
No, the
Need to get my
dude
voice.
talking will wear you out just as bad.
Yep.
People don't realize that.
Sometimes more.
Yeah. Sometimes it's actually easier to sing than it is to just talk casually. What you got, Bear?
I just saw this word and immediately it came to mind. Will Smith, Miami.
Oh my God! Why would you
Let's
let
go,
Ryan
Bear.
have that?
Yes.
Because I'm actually going to Miami this week. So would be totally appropriate for a summer song to be Miami. And I love that song. I don't care what anyone says. You always jam when that song comes on.
Oh,
Welcome
all
to
right.
Miami.
Let's go to movies. Movies.
Good Doge.
Oh, look at the puppy.
There's a puppy.
For everybody.
This is Bali.
Oh.
Say hi, Bali. Bali heard Miami and she came running, you know?
Got excited. For everyone that is not watching the YouTube, why are you not watching the YouTube? Definitely go over there and check it
You
out.
get dogs. If you go on the YouTube, you go, hi, Bali. You want to say hi, everyone? Oh, there's a snip. Yeah. You get dogs.
We hear the
Dogs.
licking
Hi,
in
Bali.
the ears.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. All right. Good pup. Now, Dad's got to work, you know.
All right. You want to give them the YouTube link, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. It's youtube.com/C/The Quad with Chris Young. And I will tell you guys, we see your comments. The engagements are up. People are liking it. People are streaming it. We appreciate it. Make sure you watch those ads all the way through, though. We appreciate that, too.
And if you, do what you want to do, but definitely make sure you go hit that little bell notification up top, because that will keep you subscribed and it will alert you when a new episode drops on YouTube. So, all right.
You could do both. You can listen and watch.
Yes,
Do both.
you can.
Dogs. You can dogs. That's why you
Dogs.
should watch.
That's all we need to say.
Yeah.
Dogs. All right.
YouTube
Dogs.
loves dogs.
Top Gun Maverick, PG-13 2022 action adventure, 2 hours and 17 minutes, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, 96% of Google users like this movie. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Maverick Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. Training a detachment of graduates for a special assignment, Maverick must confront the ghosts of his past and his deepest fears, culminating in a mission that demands the ultimate sacrifice from those who choose to fly it.
It's a great synopsis.
It's a long one.
All right, go ahead, guys. This one's you and Rye.
I didn't see it, of course, because I
Wax
said I
poetic.
refuse. I
Wax
refuse.
poetic.
Ryan, you can go first.
So I got to see this movie prior to coming down here to Tampa. And while it's almost as long as Jurassic Park, by the way, because Jurassic Park, I think, was 226. I think it was like 222. So it's almost as long as that movie. I was fascinated from start to finish with this film. And I had gone in with so many people talking about how this is the greatest movie they'd seen of all time. I think that's a little hyperbole, but the storylines, the action scenes, I do like, and I did appreciate the fact that Tom Cruise came on camera before the movie even started, just to thank everyone for coming back into the theaters and returning, and really talked about how much was put into this film from a standpoint of using real jets. Like these scenes were not like just computer generated. Like they
Even
really
though he
put the
wasn't
time and
allowed to
effort.
touch the sticks.
He was not allowed to touch the sticks, but there was a lot of effort put into this film to make it great. Obviously, there's those emotional points. Do we hit the spoiler button now, or
Time for some spoilers.
where you think obviously Tom Cruise in Maverick is potentially dead after trying to save one of the students that he was teaching, and then there's this relationship between him and a student where his father was one of his co-pilots back in the day, and that storyline emerges throughout the movie. It is
No.
I mean, it's not just one of it. It was Goose.
Yeah, it was Goose.
It's like
Yes.
the main
like,
best friend.
Even if you tried to hide from spoilers, that's been all over the internet.
Yeah.
I was trying to be as I was trying to tiptoe.
No, that's been all over the internet saying that he looks like the kid of. Yeah.
It was a fantastic movie. The action scenes were better than I had expected. I will say though, like I did not envision this movie to be the greatest of all time. I did have some nostalgia for the original Top Guns, but it did live up to the hype. I thought it was an incredible film.
The original Top Guns. What was there an S on that?
Top Gun.
Yeah. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I echo what Ryan's saying. I think the pacing was perfect. I think that they gave you the action scenes in all the right spots. Anytime it was more storyline or plot based, they would then kick it back into overdrive and give you something worth watching.
Kick it into overdrive?
Yeah, that's it.
On the highway to the danger zone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On the highway to the danger zone. Thank you. Yeah, I know this is a bold statement. I know he's been in a lot of movies. I think this is my favorite Tom Cruise performance. I really do. I like him as the older guy with still a chip on his shoulder that's kind of a hot shot. I like that he...
So you like him being himself in a
basically,
movie?
yeah. Like I felt like... Which he is in every movie. Like
Yeah.
World War Z. Was it Z? Was he in that one? Like it was just him being Tom Cruise. Was it that one? World War Z?
No. That was...
War of the Worlds. That's
War
what
of the
it was.
Worlds.
War of
Yeah,
the Worlds.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a very likable movie in all of the ways that I like movies. And I don't particularly love action movies overall. I like some. I'm very finicky when it comes to... I love
action movies.
But I love the John Wick movies, which then makes no sense. But
that's its own special thing.
yeah, and I think it's because he's avenging his dog for...
Yeah.
I would avenge my dog.
Dude, that first John Wick movie is going to be tough to top ever.
Yeah.
Like I would put that in the recent pantheon of solo male action films, or female for that matter. I would say Taken comes to mind a lot for people. I would put it above that. The first John Wick film is just almost beat for beat, knows what it is the entire time and delivers on it.
Yeah, it really does. That's absolutely correct.
So a couple of notes on this, by the way. Already, Top Gun Maverick is Tom Cruise's biggest movie ever worldwide. Over $800 million it has brought in so far. It surpasses Mission Impossible Fallout, which was $791 million. This is going to be a $1 billion movie. A $1 billion movie. And keep in mind, it's only been out 3 weeks. Like it's been out less than a month, and it's going to reach $1 billion globally, which is an incredible accomplishment.
It's impressive.
I still won't see it.
I got to be honest. I'm probably not going to watch it until it's like on the bus.
Just on TNT one
Yeah.
day.
And I know that I'm in the minority. I never liked the original Top Gun.
Same.
I didn't either.
But congrats
Won't
to
do it.
everyone that made this movie. And I'm very, you know what, just like anything else, I'm very happy that it makes a lot of people happy, because a lot of people were very nostalgic for this. And they obviously did a great job with the cinematography, and everybody that I know that's gone to see it has said it's amazing. So definitely go check it out.
And I think it
By the way, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
I think you nailed it. I think the nostalgia part of it hits all the correct notes without feeling like it's just a throwback movie the entire time. You get just enough of the like heartfelt pieces.
I thought you said pizza.
Heartfelt pizzas.
Pieces of the original without having to just watch the original.
Right.
And you have the love story with Penny that's involved too. So there's a little bit of that aspect, not just all action scenes. By the way, only 47 movies have ever hit 1 billion at the box office. And this is as of 2020. So I could be missing one of the big ones that have come out.
Wait. You have to be really careful about when you say that, because you have to understand that you're not adjusting for inflation.
True.
So,
but I'm just giving, this is again according to Insider.
Right.
So
but again,
I'm giving you
one
the
of those
upper
statistics that's like, there's only ever been this many movies that did this much money. It's like, well, yeah, but
if Home Alone came out now, if Home Alone's not on that list and it came out now, it would be $1 billion movie.
Yeah, it would be adjusted for inflation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're completely correct. Without adjusting for inflation. To just give you an idea of the echelon, the upper echelon of movies that this is going to be in.
Marvel has to have like 15
most of them. Yeah.
There's a lot of them, but it's crazy that the latest to join the list after it was released in movie theaters is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in 2001. That's kind of
Spider-Man.
The No Way Home.
I'm looking.
Yeah. It just well, but this is 2020 list.
Yeah, this is 2020. So keep that in mind. So that topped it obviously post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Nuts. Finding Dory. How about that? Total gross revenue over $1 billion. You know.
Finding Dory, Avatar.
I would not have guessed Finding Dory did that.
I actually never watched Finding Dory. I saw Finding Nemo, just not Finding Dory.
Do you guys want the list? Because I actually find it pretty fascinating. Go
ahead. Run through this, Ryan.
The highest. So I'll start from 10 down because it's kind of crazy. Which, by the way, I have some thoughts on Buzz Lightyear. Avengers: Age of Ultron in 2015, $1.4 billion. Furious 7 in 2015, $1.5 billion. Marvel: The Avengers, $1.5 billion. The Lion King in 2019, $1.6 billion. Jurassic World, $1.6 billion. That's from 2015. We're into the top 5 now, which again you would estimate and be of course correct in some of the movies that are on this list. Avengers: Infinity War in 2018, $2 billion. Star Wars: The Force Awakens in 2015 is 2.06 billion. Titanic in 97, 2.1 billion.
Oh yeah,
Titanic.
It was in theaters for like a year and a half straight.
By the way, I do want to point out all of the crap that all the Star Wars diehards give the new series of movies, but they went out and watched that first one, didn't they?
They did.
They definitely did. And then the top 2, you mentioned both of them, Josh. Avatar in 2009, 2.7 billion. And then the highest grossing movie, according to Insider, is Avengers Endgame, $2.79 billion.
Insane. That's insane.
I've also never seen Avatar.
Whoa. Okay.
Interesting.
There's a new one coming out.
You need to go watch Avatar.
It's just one of those movies that like everyone, whenever someone rags so hard on a movie, and at Universal Studios, because that was a Disney movie, we kept making fun of Avatar. And it was one of those things where we're like, they have sex with their tails. We don't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I just never had the urge to see it.
I mean, that's not really what most of the movie's about.
It's an ongoing joke, I guess, with all of us.
It was good. I saw it once. I had a friend that saw it 17 times in the theater.
What? No, I don't like it that much.
No,
I saw it one time, and it was
good.
All right, cool.
It's cool.
Awesome movie. Moving on.
Also, to be clear, if you look up Avatar on Netflix, it's not Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No, it is not.
You'll be very confused.
That is a cartoon.
Well, actually, they did a live action of that as well, and it was terrible.
That's what everyone said. It was horrible.
So just, be advised that that is not what we were speaking of.
Be careful when you're looking that one up.
This one will be on Disney.
We are not going to talk about Lightyear, Ryan, because I would like to see that movie, and I don't need you spoiling it for me.
I want to see it too.
Is that
To Infinity and Beyond.
Since you did not want to choose that as the movie for this week either.
Well, that's just because there's a very, very, very highly intriguing movie on Netflix. But we could make Lightyear the movie if you'd like, and then we can do the Netflix one to follow.
Well, you've obviously already seen it, so at least we know you wouldn't be missing this movie.
Correct.
I think timing would work out good because we could do Lightyear, we could do Hustle next week. And then I think that gets us right up to Thor: Love and Thunder.
Perfect. All right, that's what we're doing.
So Lightyear or Hustle this week?
Lightyear this week. I want to go see it.
I do. I want to go see it too.
Which, by the way, again, and I covered this story for News Nation over the weekend, but Chris Evans in place of Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear and the, doing the voiceover work for it did create some controversy, but I have read and heard and saw that there was a lot of success with it as well. So I'm interested to get your guys' take it.
Well, I mean, I would also say this, now knowing what the movie is, where it's not really continuity from Toy Story, it's actually the story of the character Buzz Lightyear that they model the toy off of. I sort of like that it's a different voice.
Yeah, it's not actually
because
him.
it's not the toy.
It's the origin story of Buzz Lightyear.
It's the character that they patterned the toy after. It's like a different universe almost. It's
and by the way,
same
that is
quote unquote universe, but yeah.
And that is precisely what the movie's producer said, because again, a lot of people were like, wait a minute, how can you have Buzz Lightyear without Tim Allen, who's been the iconic voice of it for 25 years? And the movie's producer basically said, Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear, the toy. We weren't making a Toy Story movie. We're making a Buzz Lightyear movie.
Right.
So that's why they wanted a little bit of a different feel to it.
I feel like they should have gotten that. They should have packaged it better, because I do think it was a little confusing to the average person that doesn't pay attention.
I guess I knew that because I was paying attention to the process of them making this when it started to get down the pipe, as far as production and starting to wrap and them talking about the movie. I had a good friend of mine last night that I was talking to, and he said he went and watched it and was unaware going in that it wasn't
a Toy Story,
movie. And he said it was a letdown. I'm like, well, just because you went in with those expectations, doesn't mean the movie's not good.
Right.
So I'm intrigued. I want to see what I think.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Let's go to the hot take.
Hot take!
All right. I got this idea while listening to a song, and I want to have the conversation. You have to pick a side. There's only two sides you can be on in this particular hot take. Sunrise versus sunset. Which one you got?
Sunburn Repeat.
Yeah, exactly. That's the song that was on. And I was like, man, I am a sunset guy. Now, part of that is I'm not a huge morning person. If I'm seeing the sunrise, it's probably because
you're still up.
We had a party and everybody's still awake. But here's my thing. You're probably not watching the sunrise with a glass of wine sitting there next to somebody else. You're probably watching a sunrise by yourself. Right? Maybe not all the time, but most of the time at sunset, you're with somebody, or you're being super introspective. You're thinking about stuff that's really deep. Sometimes in the morning for the sunrise, it's going to be cooler than it is for the rest of the day. So maybe it's not as comfortable to be outside and just watch that moment. And I also look at it as this. Are you enjoying waiting for that moment to happen, which is what I see the sunrise as? Or are you getting every last piece of enjoyment and beauty out of something until it's gone and respecting it?
Those are so good to wait.
Which is how I view a sunset. So I'm a sunset guy.
This is so hard because nothing is prettier than the sunset down in Key West. That is beautiful. But I have to go with growing up by the beach. There was nothing I enjoyed more than driving to the beach early in the morning and just sitting there and waiting for the sun to rise. Because I am a morning person, and when it's a beautiful sunrise and then the day is here and I am ready to go. Like, I have the day to look forward to after watching something so beautiful. It like puts you in a good mood for the rest of the day. But sitting on the beach, just in the dark, just waiting for the sun to come up and just start your day. That to me is my happy place. So that's what I enjoy. I love sunsets, but just getting there early in the morning and just watching the sun come up for your day.
It's an excellent point. I also am a morning person. I routinely wake up at 5 a.m. just because my body decides to do it now. And while sunrises are wonderful,
What?
and I do love them, there are few things. I'll say it this way. You made some excellent points on sunsets. It really is the culmination of your day, and you tend to spend it with people. And sunrises are generally by yourself. No one shoots off cannons or fireworks or anything at sunrise, but they do all of the celebratory stuff at sunset. You can go to any beach, Panama City Beach, at like Schooners or wherever. They're going to fire a cannon at sunset. And there's just something about that being the signifier that like your evening is about to start, all the nightlife is about to start, dinner is about to start, all of this second half of the whole day is about to start. And so for that reason, I will choose sunsets.
Boom. Boom. Ryan?
Well, I find this very interesting, given the fact that Bear and I are Floridians, which are known for, especially on the west coast of Florida, some of the most beautiful sunsets in the entire country.
And for getting arrested for really dumb reasons.
Yes.
That too. What the Florida? I do love the golden hour so much, and I love sunsets. It is one of my guilty pleasures is to enjoy a sunset. However, the symbolism of a sunrise has always been so special to me. I have seen more sunsets than I have sunrises, but the sunrises that I have seen have been so powerful personally to me when I've been laying in a hammock right there in Vinoy Park and I get to see the sunrise come up, and it symbolizes it. By the way, it's in the quiet of the morning, right? Mm-hmm. People are still kind of getting up and out and about, but it symbolizes the start of something new. You are getting to relive again, right? Getting to start over on a new day. I love the symbolism of that. I love the freedom, the opportunity, the solitude, the anticipation of what that day will bring. And when it does come up, by the way, the minute that sunrise pops over the horizon, you get that energy, that shot of adrenaline of here we go. Let's attack the day with 100% energy and anticipation and love. Oh, it's beautiful. It's optimistic.
For anyone that doesn't watch the actual video part on YouTube, I wish you would, just for this, that one moment, him going, you attack the day, and he's like really in front of the camera.
Moncel, if you can just edit that clip out for us, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
But yeah, so it's basically the same idea. And also you have to think about it. You may sometimes mostly be alone, but sometimes when you go to the beach at 4:00 in the morning and you're there laying with a good friend, and it's just a very romantic moment when the sun comes up.
Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A buddy.
A buddy.
A buddy.
Good Lord.
Special moment.
I just think like no matter what, you're going to always miss more sunrises than you will sunsets because you're sleeping in or you're busy.
Right,
or
but
doing
Which is what makes them special.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
If it's that special, you'd make sure you saw it every day.
Yep.
I don't see the sunset every day.
Guys, make sure you go vote on this on the poll on our Instagram page. Thank you again for listening to The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I'm Chris, from Ryan, Haley, and Josh. We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to us. We'll see you next week.